So this is the vehicle that you will get information from me. We'll also meet once a week in class. I'll answer questions. But this is how I will explain to you what's going on in each chapter. We're going to start off with, obviously, Chapter 1. Chapter 1 is basically a lot of definitions. All right, so we'll go ahead and put some of the key terms down here that you're going to need to know. First one is basically, what are statistics? I'm not going to write out the definition here. You can get that in the book. But basically, statistics is the science of gathering data, how you gather it, and then analyzing that data, taking large reams of data and making it readable to the average person. The second term, individual or subject. And basically they are the objects, the people, the animals, whatever it is you are studying, where you are gathering data from. And speaking of data, what we're gathering is called a variable. Variable is whatever it is you're studying. If you're looking at students at IUPUI, it could be their grade point average, it could be their height, it could be the town they're from. Whatever it is you want to know about that person. The next definition that we want to be familiar with is data. Basically, that's the collection of all the values of all the variables that you've measured. The data set is the collection of those data values. The last two definitions on this slide here, which are very important: population versus sample. The population consists of all the people that you want to know something about. It could be all the students at IUPUI. A sample would be a collection of those students, not the whole group of students at IUPUI, but a group of 100, something like that you've selected. When we talk about a population, and we talk about the average height, let's say, for a population, if we got that information from the population, that statistic is called a parameter. If we got the information, let's say the average height again, from the sample, that number is called a statistic. And you'll note one way I remember it is population begins with a P, parameter begins with a P, sample begins with an S, statistic begins with an S. Now I'm going to talk about the two types of statistics that we'll be working with in this class. The first one is descriptive statistics, and the second one is called inferential statistics. And we do different things with each of these, the data we collect from each of these instances. Descriptive statistics are numbers, some summary numbers like a mean or a median. You've heard those terms before. These are both averages. We collected data from a population and from a set of individuals, and we then summarize that data to describe. So we're going to summarize the data to describe something about the population. Versus inferential statistics, where we've gathered data from a sample, and we're going to use that data to project something or infer something to the population. So basically, we've gathered data from a sample to infer something about the population, to infer the average height, the average GPA, something like that, to infer something about the population. So now to summarize section 1.1, which is what we've been talking about, I selected a sample and found that of the IUPUI students that I selected, that if they attended between 90 and 100% of their classes, they received an A. If they attended between 80 and 90%, they received a B or C. If they attended less than 80%, they received a D or F. So first, what are the individuals in this study? Well, they're the students at IUPUI. What's the data collected here? Well, there were two pieces of data. One was the attendance, and two were the grades. So is the data descriptive or is it inferential? Well, I think in this case you can make an argument that it's descriptive because it's describing the students that I selected for this sample at IUPUI. So, again, the individuals were the students at IUPUI. The data is the attendance or the grades. The data collected is descriptive. And 3, are the statistics, are these descriptive or inferential? Well, in this case, the data collected is descriptive. I'm talking about what happened to the students that went to class a certain amount of time, and then the grade they gotten.